Hi, everyone. Hi, Jen. Great to see you. Thanks so much for joining.
Yeah, you too.
Great. See, we have a great showing. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And we are just going to jump in and get started. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. To learn more about the APA Quality and Safety Improvement Scholars Program. We are delighted to have you join us. And I think, Sonia, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that this is one of the largest APA QSIS and Scholars webinar showings. And so we're very
Yes.
excited. Yeah, great, great, great. Awesome. And so I just wanted to start off by introducing myself. I'm Julia Kim. I'm one of the co-directors for APA QSIS. This is my third year of the program, so I am one of the outgoing co-directors, but will continue to be involved. So for those of you that we hope that we'll see all your applications, but I hope to continue to work together with you. And then I will have Kristen introduce herself. Oh, you're muted, Kristen. Yeah. But Dr. Kristen Shadman, extraordinaire, is one of our esteemed faculty in the program, has been with us for years, and we are delighted that she also serves as a co-director of the program. And so we are both very excited to welcome all of you. So Um, Dr. Jack Stevens is also one of the co-directors for the program. And no, I will say that Dr. Shadman is one of the PEDS hospitalists and leads quality and safety work at the University of Wisconsin. And then Dr. Jack Stevens is one of the behavioral psychologists and does a lot of great work, especially with nudges as we think about implementation of interventions in the QI project. And he is at Nationwide Children's. And I'm located in Baltimore at Johns Hopkins at our Children's Center. So we have education co-chairs for our education committee as part of APA QSIS, Doctors Karina Fang and Matt Sheff. And then we have also alumni networking and communication committee chairs and associate chairs, Dr. Claudia Algaze and Dr. Jyoti Vidwan. And they are all alumni of the program. So just there's definite pathway that we've developed for being scholars and then being a part of the program as you continue to develop your careers. And we have folks that are in all different stages of their careers. So okay, next slide, please. We'll click to the next slide. Okay, so again, a huge welcome for our cohort 5 2B and as we recruit into this program. And these are some of the photos of various cohorts over the years. And it is a fantastic group of people. And we have a lot of fun because we all love to do QI and we all love to talk about it and help each other in developing and as you develop through your projects, and then helping each other develop in the careers that we have at our various locations in quality and safety. So we welcome all of you and we hope that you'll be joining our program. Okay, next slide. So we've started off with introductions already. We'll describe the program. We'll go through the application process and then run through some frequently asked questions and then ask some questions from the audience. Next slide, please. And so, just to start off, we wanted to share with you our mission for APA QSIS. And our mission is to nurture the academic success and career development of child health professionals engaged in improvement science scholarship to enhance the health and well-being of all children. And this very much aligns with the APA mission statement. You can see that we kind of like put in their improvement science scholarship. But again, it is career development support and network development for those of us that are in quality and safety and doing quality and safety and improvement science scholarship and work. So it's a 3-year program. Cohort 5 will run from April 2027 with at PAS, and then go through April 2030. So and then our applications are currently open, and then they will close August 15th. So there are a few weeks left, and then notifications will be sent to for the applicants by December 15th. And that's our QR code to learn more and to be linked to our website. If you join, you will also receive a button. So I just wanted to mention. So we like our APA QSIS swag, including our buttons. So a little bit about the program description. This is a mentored we help folks through with a mentored scholarly project on a quality or safety topic of your choice. There are assigned external QSIS faculty advisors who are nationally renowned in quality and safety as experts, and there are virtual sessions between the PAS in-person PAS meetings. We hold quarterly webinars and then quarterly small group meetings. And they approximately alternate every other month, webinar 1 month, small group meeting the next month. Often we'll have then deliverables related to the webinar topic, so that gives an opportunity to then apply that concept to your project. And then this ends with a certificate of excellence in quality and safety improvement science. Next slide, please. Over the 3 years, the first year of the curriculum focuses on QI design and methods, really helping you to jumpstart, get your project started and off the ground. And the second year focuses on advanced QI methodology. And then the third year focuses on topics of patient safety as well as career development. Next slide, please. For mentorship, there are 3 tiers of mentorship. There is the local mentor that you have helping you with the project. And the expectation is that you'll be having regular check-ins with your local mentor. There's also a national advisor. This is the level of mentorship that focuses on your career development. So may or may not be in your specific field or related to the topic, but this provides an extra level of networking and mentorship. And the expectation for the connections with the national advisors that you would hold a virtual or in-person connection twice a year. And then we connect you with a QSIS faculty member who will be present at all of the small group sessions to be able to give specific feedback on your deliverables and on your project. Okay, next slide, please. So these are some example QI projects over the years from our prior scholars, our alumni, influenza vaccination processes in the pediatric ED, reducing the frequency of pulse oximetry alarms at a children's hospital, improving variation in postoperative length of stay, or implementation of a stroke response team at a pediatric tertiary hospital ED. Next slide. And Kristen, just let me know, feel free to see if you can get off mute. So.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, perfect. Yes.
Yay. Sorry about that, everybody. It's not a webinar if somebody doesn't have technical problems.
Exactly.
So I'll just talk to you guys a little bit about what the program expectations are. The first part is really that we meet as a group at the APA QI meeting, which is a day, the morning of PAS. So this upcoming PAS is in Minneapolis. So we'll be excited to see our new cohort there in Minneapolis. And we do it for the morning ahead. And we have some opportunities there to really touch base with each other as a cohort. And then people go off to some of the sessions that are hosted by that QI Science meeting, which is a great place to learn a lot about where you are in the QI Science journey, and a fantastic place to network. Then we will have also a group meeting at PAS, which is either Saturday or Sunday, depending on when the APA is able to fit us in. And that'll be an opportunity for us to do some work together. Then, as Julia mentioned, we have the alternating webinars and the small group sessions throughout the year that we want our scholars to make their very best attempt to get to. And we understand, sometimes people do take vacation, but we have different ways of engaging you there. We have a program website and Canvas page where you'll be uploading your projects. And then we have the didactics are so important that we have mentioned them twice on the slide. And also, then you're going to be doing your ongoing learning and completion of your mentored project. And you will update us via those small group sessions, and it's an opportunity for you to get feedback on your project. And that's particularly true in the first year when you're trying to get your project up and running. And so that's the general structure. Sonia, I'll take the next slide. So as Julia mentioned, this is a mentor scholarly project on quality. Most people are doing quality. Some people have done safety, then some people have done a blend of both, of your choice. And then the expectation is that you will be able to commit 10% of your FTE with your division and department support to do the full curriculum and the project. The meeting times obviously is not 10% of your time, but you're going to be working on a project that benefits your patients, your division, your department. And so that's where the expectation comes from. You will be working with that local mentor that you have identified, and that's going to be part of the application process, to think about who that is. And then you'll be working with the whole complement of mentees throughout the 3 years. And then present your process, your project process at those small group sessions. And then for graduation, the expectation is that people will have a final peer-reviewed national level presentation or publication. Most people have presented their projects at the APA QI meeting. Some also are presenting at PAS as well with the same project, and some people have also done it at their subspecialty meetings if they meet outside of PAS. This year, we've had a number of our cohort actually already submit manuscripts, and they're just heading into their 3rd year. So this has been they've done just a great job of turning their projects into a scholarly project before the end, which has been great to see. Next slide, Sonia. So we are here to recruit our next cohort of scholars. We'll have up to 18, and this is a 3-year cycle. So we only recruit every 3 years for the cohort that's going to begin in April. And then we will have an application due on August 15th. I will say, that April is ahead of the meeting at PAS, which is May, and we have typically done a boot camp of some really really high yield topics, even ahead of that PAS meeting, to make sure that everybody is on the same page. And so we've generally structured that as like a half-day virtual meeting. Next slide. This is where some of our current scholars are, although if this would be dotted much broader from previous cohorts. I think we've had someone from almost every state except for maybe Idaho and Alaska and Hawaii. Maybe not those places, but almost every other state, I think. Next slide, Sonia. So these are just some of the specialties that have been previously represented. Definitely some people from general pediatrics, hospital medicine is often, we often have at least one or two people from hospital medicine, infectious disease, emergency medicine, GI, NICU, endocrinology. These are some of the current ones, cardiology and the past. Um, and I think intensive care as well. So it's pretty broad. And we have a lot of mentors from across the subspecialty fields as well. Next slide. So our application is now all open. The application closes on the 15th. It will notify people of acceptance by December 2026. Our target participants, they have generally been early or mid-career APA members, although certainly if people are more mid to late career, but they are really interested in quality improvement, we are open to them as well. We're not accepting current fellows because they are transitioning in their roles and wouldn't be in the same place for 3 years. But that's kind of the broad range of people who have been participants in the past. And we just really are interested in people who are excited about learning about quality improvement in a rigorous way that is systematic and supports scholarly output, since that's part of our mission. Next slide. These are the financial considerations, both the fee for members and non-members, and then the tuition for each scholar. Included in that tuition is that the APA QI meeting is covered, the travel costs and the registration to both the APA meeting, or excuse me, the travel costs, the APA meeting, as well as PIS are not covered, and registration for PIS is separate and not included in that tuition. So you might be curious about the application. It's online. It includes a personal statement along with a project proposal and your CV, and then the completion of the supervisor agreement that outlines that 10% FTE commitment, as well as an identification of your scholarly project local mentor and their letter of support and their CV. Next slide, Sonia. So what does that scholarly project description look like? It's going to ask you some questions that help us see that it could be a scholarly approach to QI. It also looks at the impact of QI on health outcomes for patients and the populations that you might be serving. It includes looking at what the global aim will be, along with the SMARTY aim, and what you are proposing might be the key measures of improvement, along with what the scope of the project would be, whether that's a population or targeted areas of improvement. And we'll ask you about what do you think the key things for success will be and what you might think the barriers to your project might be, which just helps us understand the local context a bit to make sure that we are embarking on a project with you that is going to be feasible. Certainly, there have been people who've needed to tact their project to something that will be more feasible after they've explored the local context and barriers a little bit more, which is totally okay. We just want you to start the process with a project that will be feasible, because that's the way that you are going to learn the most from this cohort. Next slide, Sonia. The personal statement is 250 words and includes some commentary about what your previous experience in quality and patient safety are, along with why you want to apply to this program and how it fits with your longer term career goals. Next slide, Sonia. So this is just a few frequently asked questions that we've gotten in the past, and then we're going to open it up to your questions. So what does that 10% time commitment mean, and does that mean a salary commitment? So the quality safety program does not subsidize your FTE. So the agreement is really to protect 10% of your time to complete the project. And that may already exist within your current academic appointment. If you have an academic appointment, that might already be outlined. And so you would just be confirming that you have time to do the project. Next slide. And then what should you be looking for a local mentor? Ideally that's someone at your home institution who has experience in quality and patient safety and will be willing to mentor your project and help you with career development. And we definitely have a pretty wide range of exposure to people across the country. And so if you're having trouble finding a local mentor, you can reach out to us and we can help to try and connect you with somebody at your local institution. Next slide, Sonia. And then we will be providing you with the national advisor, as Julia outlined before. That's based upon your area of focus and the proposed project. You may or may not be in the same exact field. Next slide, Sonia. Okay, so that's the end of our prepared time. And these are, if you have specific questions, you can put them in the chat, you can unmute, or you can email one of us.
And I will just add before we fully open it up that we wanted to also introduce you to the one and only Sonia Hicks. And her name was not on the slide for more information, but the person that will be able to provide the most information is Sonia. So thank you so much, Sonia. I don't know if you want to come off mute and just like, yeah.
Sure, sorry about that. Yeah, hello everyone. Yes, I am staff support for the APA and for the QSIS Scholars Program. So I'll put my email address in the chat and you are welcome to reach out to me if you have any questions.
Thanks so much, Sonia, as always. So, all right. Well, we would love to hear from you. Yes, Nancy, yep, I see your hand.
Hi, sorry, I can't turn my video on. I'm working clinically.
Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. Thanks for
I had
joining.
two questions. Yes. About the FTE commitment. So if I am have education time through multiple residency programs, I'm faculty for two residency programs, and I get 15% FTE for that. Would it be reasonable to say I have education and academic time that this would fit into, or would you be looking for a different type of FTE commitment?
I think that that sounds completely reasonable. You know, again, we wanted to put that in there so that folks understood that it was more than just listening to a couple of webinars, you know, and that they understood it was that it would take time to devote to the project that we would be helping to support through the program. So I think that that sounds completely reasonable. And again, hopefully you would select a project that aligns with the work that you're doing and are already accountable for in your various roles, that this would then just kind of align with nicely. I think that that's the best like win-win scenario, as opposed to selecting something that would be completely different than what you're already kind of working on. I
Okay.
don't know if
And then a follow-up question to that is I am working on a project for our entire health system, and I have a lot of data, but I'm very early in building and cleaning the data to determine what sort of PDSA cycles or what the goals of the project will be. And I'm not sure if I'm too early in that process to apply since I don't have clear areas for intervention that I want to work on, or is this exactly the type of thing because I feel like I need further mentorship and guidance from someone more familiar with QI processes? I'm just not sure how that would work.
Yeah. Well, there are a couple of things that sounded like it would align in that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like it was a health system project so that it was a health system priority. And if that's the case, then my understanding would then be that there are people and resources that would then be in place to help you in pursuing this project, and I think that that's one of the biggest things that could that would be help out with the success of your project
Yes.
and involvement in the for this program. And
Okay.
so if that's the case, then I think that and you had an initial draft of the kind of your aim statement and potential measures, I think that we could then, I think it would align, but yeah, yeah. So
That is
I'll
very
throw that out
helpful.
there. Yeah,
Thank you
Kristen.
so much.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. Kristen, any other thoughts about what Nancy was saying?
The only thing I was going to offer for Nancy, especially and really for anybody, is that sometimes people use this as an opportunity to negotiate a temporary decrease in the FTE for the program, if or even maybe not even for the 3 years, but for a year during like the launch of the project. So that's just something to consider, especially if it doesn't 100% overlap or align with what your other like FTE might be.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would
yes,
be great.
that'd
I
be great,
know.
Nancy. I
It's
know.
hard. It's harder now. I think it's harder now, but depending on where people are, sometimes it is still possible, especially if they're being asked to do something else. And so, as part of that negotiation.
Yeah.
I think that Ronnie has this next
Hi.
question.
Yes. Thank you so much for this. This is very helpful. Kind of piggybacking off of that question as far as like helpful information that would be for negotiating the 10% or any kind of support. The quarterly webinars and the small group meetings, are these something that we're planning for like an entire day, afternoon? Is it just like an hour at a time, or is it just kind of vary depending on what the topic is?
Yeah, great question. Usually, it is like so for this year, they are on Wednesdays. We do try to get the schedule out at the very beginning of the year, like April for the next 12 months, with the exact dates and times so that people can try to plan accordingly or better plan if possible. And so for this year, there are Wednesdays. The webinars are from 3 to 4, mostly. And then the small group sessions, we have done, I think that they're just an hour. In the past, we may have done an hour and a half if we were to combine a webinar with discussion. But I think we tried to pare it down to an hour just to, you know, um, based on everyone's time, limited time availability. So,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. Oh, I will add on to that though, because Kristen had mentioned boot camp. And so at the beginning of the 3 years, we've had success for the last 3 cohorts for having a boot camp session. That is a little bit longer, but we would let you know as soon as as soon as the cohort is selected, we would find a time so that everyone could put that on the calendars. And then I want to say it was like 2.5, no more than 3 hours, but it's like a one-time thing for that boot camp to just kind of like get tons of topics in and then get everyone on the same page before then, moving on with the program. So.
Julia and Kristen, there are a couple of questions in the chat. If you could address those real quick before the end of the 30 minutes.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got 1 minute. We're gonna do this fast. We have a question from Kawar Nawaz. I'm fresh out of fellowship, just started to work in a community hospital. There's no mentorship nor the community setting. Would commit to FTA. I don't know if something's covering my thing. I do have some background knowledge of QI, excellent, and would like to be enrolled. What are the options for that situation? So Kawar, we will reach out to you if you could like put your email address, and then we will reach out to you so that we can give some more individualized feedback on that. And then there was another question. I'm curious about the tuition. Do applicants usually pay that with institutional funds or personal funds? Folks have paid with, they'll have some tuition reimbursement. I think that there may have been some personal funds, so I think it's a little bit of a mix based on what might be available to folks. But
And
yes.
I would just
Yeah, go ahead,
You
Chris.
might be able, if you're within your division, sometimes divisions have discretionary funds that they're able to tap into, especially if it's benefiting the division, or institutional professional development grants that will match your funds. So I would check into that with your leadership and see what might be available to support it really is beyond what your yearly professional development funds are, or if they'll let you stack that for a few years so that you can use it. That's another option too.
Great. And then the tuition is one time for the 3 years. All right. I know we are 1 minute over, but Kristen, Jack, and I just want to thank you for joining us. And we please reach out also to Sonia. Please reach out to all of us with any additional questions. And we hope that you consider and applying to our program. We would love to have you. So great. Thank you so much.
And I also put the email addresses for Kristen, Jack, and Julia in the chat. If you want to grab those real quick, that would be awesome. Otherwise, you can always reach out to me. So, okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great
Bye-bye.
afternoon.